What is going on YouTube? You hear from MediaTek. Today coming with another phone review, and this is about the Ulefone Armor 12 that I've been using now for the past month or so approximately. And yes, we do have a very big 5G logo. That's because for the first time with a Chinese phone, I am getting 5G support here in the USA. I'm not trying to say this is the first device out there to support it, from China of course, but at least in my experience, this is the first by Ulefone to get 5G support with Verizon here in the USA. Now, this is also the first device that I use with the MediaTek processor, the Dimensity 700, which is stronger than the P series and also the G series from MediaTek, which is really cool. And of course, we got an accessory for it. So this was all thanks to Ulefone. And on the back side here of the box, we're going to see some of the highlights of this particular device. It is IP68 and IP69 certified, which means that it is dust proof, waterproof, and even shock proof. Again, here we can see the processor. It comes with 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of internal storage. It has a 6.52-inch display, a 48 megapixel main sensor in the back. It does support face unlock and also fingerprint. It comes with a pretty beefy battery, 5,180 milliamps. It supports wireless charging. It has NFC for Google Pay and Android 11. Of course, we have more features on here, but we're going to talk about them as we go along here with the unboxing. So getting a look inside, we get a little divider where inside we're going to find the manuals and all that good stuff that, well, we never really read. Then here we have the phone itself, and it comes very nicely wrapped all the way around. And I have to say, this is just my opinion, I think this is the best looking rugged phone right now out there in the market. It is not super thick and it is not super thin, so it gives you that very nice heavy feel, nice and premium. And the back, it looks very good. According to them, it has an antibacterial silver ion coating, which yes, it kills bacteria. Okay, now me personally, I haven't tested this. I'm not a scientist. I don't have ways of testing it, but I'll just take their word for it. Inside of this divider, we find the charging brick, and if I am not mistaken, this is a 30-watt charger that I can't use here in the USA because I need the adapter, and then it makes it too bulky and it just falls off the wall. But if we look here, this is actually an 18-watt charger, as you guys can observe. I thought it was 30. But no, it is an 18-watt charger, and it does charge wirelessly at 15 watts maximum. Then we get here the little USB-C to the 3.5mm headphone jack adapter, the USB cable, and underneath here we get this. And that's all we get inside of the box. So let's go ahead and check the accessory and see what it's all about. And for this protective case, we get inside a little guide on how to install it. It is very simple. This thing just simply clips on to the back side of the phone like so, and that's pretty much it. And then we have here a little, I call it a little hanger, okay, style mount. And then we have the clip-on mount, and that's it for the case. So of course we're going to take this off because it just makes it too bulky in my opinion. So I want to leave this to the side for now. Let's talk about the phone. Alrighty guys, so looking at the front side of the phone, we have the display, which is a 6.52 inches 720p LCD panel, 269 ppi. It does have a notification LED towards the upper right hand side corner. We get here the front facing camera, which is a 16 megapixel. We have the ear speaker, and the display blends in with the bezel, so it makes it look like one piece, but in reality we do have bezels around here. And it does have like this little lip all the way around the device, and this is what makes it shock proof. It's like having an actual case, but this is built into the frame. Then on the left hand side here we have the SIM tray, which is easily pulled out with just your fingernail. And we can see right here that I do have connected my Verizon SIM card, which is a 5G service. And yes, I am getting 5G support, as I said before. We do have, like with almost every rugged device out there, a metallic frame here on the side with the shortcut button. This button can be remapped, which is really awesome. On the right hand side here, we get the volume rockers up and down, again with the metallic frame as well. We get here a power key. This is also a fingerprint scanner. And on the bottom side, we get the main microphone with the USB-C port for charging. And on the top side here, we get like something they tried to make, but it wasn't finished. So we don't get a headphone jack. We only get it with the USB-C port. You had to use that adapter, and that's it for that. On the back side here is where things get interesting. We do have NFC support, which is great for Google Pay, and we get wireless charging like I mentioned before. Not only that, but we get hi-fi stereo speakers right here. They are located on the back side, which is not something I'm really a fan of, to be honest, but they sound awesome. And we're gonna be testing that here in just a second. Then here we have the camera setup, and I'm not sure about you guys, but I think this looks quite premium. Overall, the build, I've seen some other rugged phones where the camera module looks kind of cheap, but this one in particular has a 48 megapixel sensor camera, the main shooter. Then we get an 8 megapixel ultra wide, a 2 megapixel macro, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor with the LED flash right there. So with this being said, let's go ahead and turn this thing on. And yes, we are running it on Android 11. It comes, like I said before, with 8 gigabytes of RAM, 120 gigabytes of internal storage. And the coolest part here, guys, is the fact that the battery is able to last 2 days. Yes, I used it consecutively without having to charge it for 2 days. On my third day, starting my third day, like around 10 a.m., I had to charge it just because of the fact that I had only 5%. I never tried any type of battery saving mode. I just decided to charge it because it takes a while, especially since you're only getting a maximum of 18 watts of charging. This is a pretty hefty battery, and for that reason, I wasn't able to use it any longer. So here we have the passcode, and this is the user interface. Now keep in mind, guys, that, well, the way that they decided to save money here is on the display. So yes, you're gonna get nice viewing angles. It does have pretty decent punchy colors, but remember, this is a 720p display and it is quite big, so it's not gonna look the same as a flagship device, but overall I'm happy with it. It could have been worse. Right now this thing has been great so far in terms of the usability. Now it is a 60 hertz display, so you're not gonna get that nice smoothness that we see on other flagship devices. Now keep in mind, guys, that this phone is not trying to beat flagship devices. It is a phone with a budget price, and I think they have done a tremendous job. So the first thing I want to test here, of course, is going to be the fingerprint scanner. So I already set it up, and surprisingly enough, it does work quite well. Most of the time you need to center your finger or hold it quite firmly so that it works. If I go a little bit to the side, you can see that, let me try that again, that sometimes it fails. But for the most part, I would say out of every 10 tries, 8 are good. So I consider that to be quite decent. And of course, we have here now the face unlock. So all I got to do is press on the button, and you can see how fast it does it. It is actually a little bit faster sometimes than the fingerprint. Okay, so that's that for the face unlock and the fingerprint. So the user interface here is actually quite clean for the most part. We don't get any bloatware. We do have all the Google applications already inside of the system. And as I said before, guys, this is my first device with the Dimensity 700 processor. Usually I get either the Series G or the P, which could be like the P95 or the G95, so on and so forth. But this is, again, my first time with the Dimensity 700, and I gotta say, guys, I am not disappointed whatsoever. It is expected, this processor, and well, it is not necessarily a good thing, but we do have a 720p display, so things are gonna run very nice and smoothly, and overall it's gonna save a lot of battery. So this is the score that I got, 340,000, which again, it is definitely a solid mid-range device with a mid-range price. In case I haven't mentioned it, this phone is only about $270 approximately. And again, you're getting decent memory, you're getting a decent RAM, so on and so forth. And by the way, for the GPU, we have the Mali G57, which is also acceptable. So of course, I did play some games on here like Ospo 9. I even tried Call of Duty, and all of these games are working great. But of course, since we only have a 60 Hertz display, well, the frame rate is not going to be in your advantage on this particular device. I wish that maybe on their next generation of rugged device, they come with a 120 Hertz display. That will make it a lot better, and at least 1080p, maybe with an OLED or AMOLED panel, that would be ideal. But so far, this thing, again, it is usable, it is playable, but it is just not as smooth as a flagship device. Something great here about the Ulefone Armor 12 is the fact that they have rated it to be IP68 and IP69K certified, but they don't have flaps, which is definitely a plus, something that I truly appreciated, just because I don't have the stress of checking it out every time in case I want to get the phone wet or something happens. You're not stressing about that particular issue. Also guys, if you look here closely, on the upper right hand side corner, we are getting 5G support, like I said before, with voice over LTE. And yes, I am using here Verizon service. Let me see if I can show you that right there, Verizon Wireless. Now, according to the description on Amazon, it says that it only works with 5G with T-Mobile and also Sprint. But I guess they are wrong, because right here you guys can observe that Verizon Wireless also works. So I'm assuming Verizon maybe did something quietly to their networks, because almost every device that I get from China is actually being supported, which is great news. A lot of people have Verizon. We can't deny the fact that that's one of the top companies here in the USA. And seeing that little 5G symbol on there, guys, simply makes it so much awesome. Something really cool about the Armor 12 that I like is the fact that it comes with a shortcut button that can be remapped to any application. In this case, I have it programmed so that if I click it once, it opens TikTok. And your parents say, boy, who doesn't love TikTok? And then if I press it twice, it opens WhatsApp. And if I hold and press it, now it opens Google Pay. Like I said, this is really cool. And yes, you can remap it if you go here into settings. And then we go here into where it says smart key. Let me see, custom key, excuse me. So here you can see what I have done. Single click, TikTok, double click WhatsApp, and long press, it opens Google Pay. Also, if we look here into settings, we have things like navigation bar. You can change it to either virtual or you can hide them. You can also change the position as well, which is really cool. Then if we go down a little bit more, we have things like Smart Touch. And on here we have those little, what we call gimmicks normally, that we can do with the phone, but they are always nice to see them on here. Then we have Intelligent Assistant as well. So we can flip to silent. We have Smart Answer, which means that if you're getting a phone call and you place it into your ear, it'll automatically answer the phone call for you. We have the 3 fingers screenshot, and so on and so forth. So we have sensor calibrations, and yes, we can do a whole bunch of things directly from here, which is really nice. So here we have Android version 11. If I click on it multiple times, you can see that in fact it is Android 11, which is really cool. But I doubt that we're gonna get any updates for Android 12. The most we're gonna get maybe an update to fix some bugs, if there's any. So far I haven't noticed any, and that's pretty much all we're gonna get here with this device. Okay, so now with this being said, guys, something I also want to test here is the loudspeaker on this device. As I mentioned before, they are located on the back side, and in my opinion, they sound quite awesome. So let's go ahead and play here a trailer. Let me see, I'm just going to pick one randomly, and I just click on trailer right there. Let's see, let's try to play this one, Morbius. Let's see what this is all about. I'm going to place the volume to the max here on the right hand side, and I think I did that correctly. So far you guys heard right there that is quite loud, but let me start it again, and in 3, 2, 1, listen to this.
You need a doctor? I am a doctor. I should have died years ago. people all over the world have my disease. Amir, to find a cure, we have to push the boundaries, take the risks. If you're gonna run, do it now.
I left this playing a little longer just because I wanted you guys to hear the quality out of these speakers on the back side. Unfortunately, they are on the back. If we had maybe one on the front and the other one at the bottom, it would make it sound a little bit better, just like with the flagships out there. But I gotta say, this is by far the best audio that I've heard on any other rugged device. This thing beats it by a long shot. Now, another cool part about the Ulefone Armor 12 is that we also have this feature, which is the FM radio. And guess what, guys? We don't need the headset. So all we have to do is go on it, and there it is. So let's go ahead and turn it on. This is a Spanish radio station, and of course we have a whole bunch of others. And they work flawlessly. Like I said, guys, we don't need a headset in order to get it working, which is great. And now finally we have the camera on the Armor 12, and I have to say, guys, that overall for the price, this thing has a pretty decent camera. Now I have to say that it works best under light conditions, so if you're using this in the dark, it's not going to do that well. So here I'm just shooting a random picture of the box itself, just so that you can see all the details of it. And right now here you can see that it did bad on the focus side, but if I try that again, let me show you here, you can see how this is all blurred out. But let's try that one more time. And that's what I'm talking about, that you need to really just stay still and take the photos like so, and then focus it a couple of times on the display itself, of course by tapping on the display, and look at the difference, guys. You can get much better results. So technically this is a great camera. It just needs to be tweaked a little bit. I would say that using the Pro mode can help you quite a bunch. And if I'm not mistaken, with this device you can record up to 2K at 30 frames per second. So let's go here into the quality, and yes, 2K 30 frames, and then we have 1080p, and we have HD and VGA. So that's about it. We don't have a lot of things that we can customize on here. And of course we have night mode as well. And yes, everything is working as described. Like I said, it's not a flagship killer camera, but it's going to do its job for the most part. And for the front facing camera here, we have again that 16 megapixel sensor. But before we go into the front facing camera, I just want to test here real quick the macro mode. And I'm going to shoot a picture here to this box once again. Get really close and check this out. Let me shoot the photo. There we go. Look how the logo is, how tiny, and look how much you can magnify it with the macro lens. So like I said, if you are patient and you hold the phone still, then it's going to take very nice photos. But for some reason, if your hand is a little shaky, I think this could happen with any other device out there, but with this one, it is a little bit more exaggerated, to where if your hand is a little bit shaky, it's going to cause the picture to look blurry. Then of course, like I said, we have the front facing camera. Let's go here into photo mode, and this is the, again, the 16 megapixel sensor camera, able to record at 1080p 30 frames per second with wide angle as well. And like I said, camera wise, I don't have a complaint with this device. According to the price, it is not a flagship killer, but it does the job quite well. Well guys, with this being said, I think that now we have here completed the unboxing and the review of the Ulefone Armor 12 5G. And if you guys want my recommendation, I gotta say this phone is definitely worth it, especially if now during the holidays it gets a little cheaper than $260. I would say that it is definitely a steal. The battery did amazing. I was able to get, like I said, 2 days of battery. It comes with wireless charging, NFC. You even have the option for the headphone jack with the adapter, which is a plus. And overall, it's a nice built device. So again, thank you so much for watching. Click on the bell icon, subscribe for more, share the video, and I'll see you guys on my next one.